in NCAA Division I. Our player to watch are Morehead State senior guard Veronica Charles. She comes into today's game having scored in double figures in 10 straight, leads the club at 13 points per game. Her 2.5 steals per game ranked third in the Ohio Valley Conference.
Eastern Illinois will be led by Matt Ballant, 7th-year head coach, as Hall misses up close early, and Eastern Illinois already on the run. Monahan has her pass deflected, and back and forth we go early, 25 seconds in.
Well, I talked about Eastern Illinois trying to play some good defense in transition. Good job that time by Morehead State. Haley Rhodes in particular in breaking up the pass.
Ballant, McGlone with the rebound. Third in the nation, 19 double-doubles, 12 straight. Player at BYU, the only player with more double-doubles this season.
Yep.
22. Video game-like numbers, Dean.
Yeah, exactly. And she had a big afternoon back in January when Morehead State went to Eastern Illinois. She ended up
straight, though.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a tough patch for EIU. Lost Thursday at Southern Indiana, and we'll talk about that as we go down. And lost the weekend before that in that tough trip to UT Martin and then Little Rock. UT Martin really took care of them 80-65. UT Martin is really coming on. We talked about them when they were in this building, how young they are. And a lot of those young freshmen really learning to figure it out. They're starting to play very, very well.
Under 10 on the shot clock is Barnes, who gets the start today. Over to Hall, who misses her second shot. Man-to-man for Morehead State as Monahan being tightly guarded by Barnes. Court now off to Lewis. Officials, Bobby Ray, Elbrook Shoulders, and Jamie Cavalier. McGlone takes it inside. Nice defense from Hall and a poor pass. And a foul.
Blessing King came off her guard to really get a hand in the passing lane, force the turnover.
27 turnovers in OVC play for McGlone. Morehead State coached by third-year head coach Caleb Petrie, 12-10 overall, 7-4. And this Morehead State team, Dean, they go back and forth. They won 4, lost 3, now come in winners of 2 in a row.
Yeah, it's been a topsy-turvy season, and a lot of it just depends on how well they shoot. If they get in the cooler, they're not going to beat anybody. But sometimes, and they don't have to shoot it tremendously well, but if they shoot just a little bit better than average, they got a pretty good chance to win.
But let's talk about her on the offensive end. Haley Rhodes, 8 of 9 in double figures the last 9 games, 5 straight. She's really, really finding a comfortable spot on the offensive end.
Yeah, she ended up with a dozen on Thursday night against SIUE and looked really, really good. She's coming into her own in just her sophomore season. Good hands by Barnes to knock that free.
Lewis, extra pass over to Thornton on the baseline, and she makes that look easy with 6 on the shot clock.
Morehead State got a little bit out of sorts because after the ball went through, Veronica Charles, the ball hawk she is, she went after the basketball, and that left Morehead State outnumbered.
Athletic play from Barnes on the other end.
Skylar Barnes, since the middle of January, has really come on and played very, very well for the most part for Morehead.
We talk about Charles on the defensive end. She is trying to become the second player ever, Dean, to win multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards in the conference. So illustrious territory if she can win that award again, as Malone herself is finding herself in illustrious territory. Another knockdown jumper.
Yeah, that was a pretty neat little play. Is they kind of inverted it. Most of the time you'll have it where they're trying to get to McGlone inside, but they instead did the drive and kick. Instead of kicking to a guard for a 3, they kicked to McGlone for.
Also in, the last win came against Tennessee Tech, and we talked about Monahan had 20 in that game. Mydell had 9 coming off the bench. That followed by 3 straight losses, like we mentioned, as that one tipped up and almost coming over to us. Active hands,
dive and get that, man.
Yeah, active hands. And right to her right, Monahan will bounce it in, and dangerous inbound, but Lewis able to corral it. Tiny Lewis from St. Cloud, Minnesota. In that last win against Tech, 9 points, 7 assists. Now she can really dish it out, and King will get it after the deflection. 3 turnovers for the Panthers. Charles stops on the block. Hall gets put in a tight spot. And Secchiaroli now to Barnes.
Good decision by Veronica Charles to turn that back around. She didn't really have anywhere to go with a basket.
And that's a mismatch, no doubt. You look at the numbers, Barnes 5'9", McGlone 6'3". And Barnes is not going to win this battle very often.
No, and Mason McGlone is the top shot blocker in the Ohio Valley Conference.
42 on the season, 21 in conference play. Monahan. Little head fake by Thornton. She's going to have her shot blocked, but contact on the arm under the bucket.
Again, it's not a lot of contact there.
Thornton able to knock down the second, in the lead at 6, 8-2. Morehead State 1 of 6 from the field overall. Dangerous pass across the court. Charles corrals. Charles throws it up and just trickles over the front of the rim.
And Eastern Illinois came out, first time we've seen them come out with a little press. They do a little 2-2-1, and they'll trap out of it. But the problem is somebody as quick as Veronica Charles, if she can drive through it like that, just dribble through everything, then that creates some problems on the defensive end.
McGlone over in the corner to Thornton.
And McGlone with a size advantage here as Blessing King is on her now. Michaela Hall went out after the foul.
3 off by Lewis, and King commits the foul.
She basically found position and looked like a defender boxing off on Blessing King. You see right here, nice little quick step inside, and King, not much she could do about it.
And before we could even get out of the replay, McGlone got the inbound and just a quick lay-in the paint. Easy 2 for her, and the lead now at 6. Again, as we are midway through the first quarter. Johnson Arena in the Academic Athletic Center. As Charles penetrates on McGlone, gets the floater up, and that's just going to be a tough shot all day. What a play, though, by Jaden Rhodes to save it in. Novick to King. King is going to travel with it before she gets the shot up, and that'll bring us to our first of 2 OVC games, as Morehead State and the Eastern Illinois men will do better after this one. But right now, the table's tilted in the favor of Eastern Illinois as they lead 10-4. 4 for McGlone and 4 for Thornton.
Well, the big thing is Eastern Illinois is 3 out of 4 from the field. Now they get 3 out of 5. Morehead State just 2 of 8.
DeRoche off on her first jumper. They find Solderlin, who was in double figures last game, off in the corner 3.
He made the adjustment on her, and every time she was even close to the basketball, there was somebody up in her kitchen.
Novick, the true freshman, leads Morehead State in blocks. Inbounds. And Rhodes thought about the 3. Nice crossover. Comes to a jump stop over top of McGlone, and that's pretty basketball there.
Just nice little, they kind of ISO'd it, and it was all 5 out and kind of left the middle inside and let Haley Rhodes go to work.
Blessing King's got a tough task today, Dean.
Yeah,
well, against McGlone.
Blessing King, Michaela Hall, whoever's in there has got a tough task trying to guard this person, who for my money, and I've said it a couple of times on our air in different games, I think that's your Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year.
And one thing with McGlone, she's got 23 made threes as well.
Yeah, she doesn't shoot a lot of them, but she'll make a few.
Like that 27 made threes. Excuse me, 6 of 22. I beg your pardon. As Charles.
A whole lot more of the load, especially offensively.
Charles completes the three-point play. That was 6 of 22 for McGlone from behind the arc, 27%. Want to make sure I clear that up. Lead at just 3. Morehead State sticking around in this one in the first quarter. All Lewis on this possession midway through the shot clock. Now Hall has the task of guarding McGlone. Now doubled from Novick. Great play by Bazell, who cuts through the paint and finds 2.
And Matilda Soderlin was just about a half a step late getting there. She was almost there to get a hand in the passing lane. Bazell was able to make the nice little inside jumper.
Novick, corner 3, rattles out. Inside rim, rattled out. And the rebound down to the Panthers. McGlone running the court nicely.
Yeah, that's one thing Macy McGlone does. I've watched enough of their games where if the ball, if she reads the rebound is coming off not in her area, she goes ahead and releases. And you saw at that time she released, got there in plenty of time.
And Haley Rhodes with a little one-legged fader. Nice use of the glass. Open on a Saturday afternoon.
Let's see if they go in double. There it is. Ooh.
33 fouls 23. That's DeRoche. Tushin. Jogging to the bench will be Mydell. And Thornton will come back in. Colson in for the first time as well. Thompson Station, Tennessee product, 6'1" junior.
There's a size mismatch. If Katie wants to take advantage of it, she's a little bit taller than the other guards, and she can maybe go inside. There we are.
Novick turns, leans off, but hit on the arm by Monahan. Great call there by Dean. As he said it, and that's exactly what happened on the foul for Monahan.
Monahan was incredulous. That was a tough angle for us to see what kind of contact there was there. Could have been. I didn't really see it from, what are we, about 70 feet away from it?
About as far as you could get sitting on press row. Little token full court pressure. Under 2 minutes, first quarter. Dean Norton alongside him, Jared Stacy, as they work it inside, and Novick picks up the foul, and that's a tough one. Novick thought she had
a sprained ankle, and then she'd missed the entire rest of that month and missed the entire month of December. Didn't return until January 6th at Little Rock. She's starting to play her way back into shape.
Redshirt junior out of Richmond, Virginia, Paris McBride works it over to Solderland. Man-to-man from Eastern Illinois as Charles is tripped up right of the painted area. Jamie Cavalier with about as easy of a call as you'll ever have to make.
Yeah, and you saw Thornton came out with trying to take.
Dina now refer to the bonus as a penalty because there is no 1+1 bonus in women's basketball. It's straight 2 shots. A Solderland extra pass to McBride.
3 years on our quest to get the terminology changed by the NCAA.
One day, Dean, one day.
It's my dream.
McBride bumped at the free throw line. Looking, turns and fades. Had to get something else, though, as the shot clock was winding down.
Yeah, the timer was winding down, so wasn't much else she could do. Put up a pretty good shot, just wouldn't go down.
Jumper by Lewis, pretty. Tiny Lewis, sophomore from St. Cloud.
Lewis hitting 38% from the floor, which not bad, but that looked awfully good.
Lead at 8, largest of the game. Rhodes answers back. She's showing some true confidence.
Haley Rhodes now 3 out of 3 from the floor. Kind of keeping Morehead State in contact here in this first quarter.
This Eastern Illinois team lost to Southern Indiana 70-60 on Thursday as Charles comes away with the rebound. 13 and 3 the rebound for average for her points and rebounds as she's fouled on the jumper by DeRoche. And
State as a team only hitting 63%, which is in the bottom of the Ohio Valley Conference rank.
2 seconds. Lewis loses it. Barnes won't get a shot up, and what an end to the first quarter.
Media timeout. Morehead State was 2 of 8. They finished 5 and 8 for 7 of 16, and they also out-rebounded Eastern Illinois 5-3 in that last segment, and that's how they got back in the ball game.
Blessing King, one thing I noticed as well at the end of that first quarter as Rhodes has her pocket picked. King excels when rebounding, not known for her offensive ability, but when she can get out and run the court with her speed, it really makes it tough on defenses. Is that 3 good by Bazell?
Ellie Bazell is the best three-point shooter that Eastern Illinois has. She was 5 for 5 against Morehead State in their game.
Went to Las Vegas last year while their conference tournament was going on and got to watch a couple GCU games, actually.
I did not have that on the bingo card today.
I know.
Antelope or Las Vegas did not have either one of those.
Well, you got to talk about Las Vegas right now with the Super Bowl tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Or, yeah, I guess it would be tomorrow.
Who do you like in that?
Not the Chiefs.
Well, not because you hate them. Just
I'd like to see Purdy win just because he was the last pick in the draft as McGlone swats that one out with the commercials, halftime show. It's all going to be a good time.
I could care less about the halftime show. And I don't know who it is. I don't
it's
care.
It's Usher.
Well, I mean, I don't mind Usher, but any halftime show, I could care less.
Charles
I could not care less.
Charles' shot at the buzzer's off. Did draw iron, though, and McGlone able to get the baseline rebound.
Now, Macy McGlone, sometimes she comes down as a trailer of that. She'll pop up, she'll raise up and pop from the top of the key.
Charles fouls Lewis, and Lewis McGlone with the offensive rebound as she beats Hall for it.
She just has better foot speed, and she just outworked Hall on that one.
Monahan dump off to McGlone. Easy finish with the left hand, and nice shot fake as well.
Well, what happened was the penetration, that had to draw Michaela Hall to stop it. Then it's 2-on-1, and, yeah, go ahead and give it to your best player at point-blank range.
Barnes, free throw line out to Haley Rhodes.
Asking for a ball screen to see which way she goes with it.
Free throw line, jumper off. Hall, though, rebound, put back over top of McGlone off, and that's 2 up close that Hall's missed.
That was pretty good work, just would not go down, but good job of Michaela Hall.
Monahan gets past Charles. Finishes inside, largest lead at 10 now.
Veronica Charles, she's got to turn that player. She's got to hit the baseline and make him turn around.
And 10-1 in the conference. You look at the next couple records. You have Little Rock with 8 wins and Morehead and UT Martin with 7 apiece. But it's important to note that Southern Indiana squad not eligible for the NCAA tournament.
But they're eligible to go to the OVC tournament. They're eligible to be the top seed. So they're still in play. And there's a really nice basket by Melissa Secchiaroli, who baskets have been, especially three-pointers, have been few and far between for about a month now. Let's see if that'll get her going.
32nd make of the season, under 30% though, the percentage, as she does get the most attempts up.
And in Ohio Valley Conference play, she's only hitting like 18% for behind the arc. It's been a struggle here January and into February.
Under 10, Bazell picks up her dribble. What a pass to Monahan. Nice little move to get the shot over top of King as Barnes went flying by.
I didn't really see what happened, but Monahan somehow got away from Skylar Barnes. Barnes was a step and a half behind her, and I don't know if she rubbed off a screen or what. I'll have to try to pay more attention, but wide open underneath, and Maya Monahan's a pretty good player.
Secchiaroli with 8.
See there, well, actually, Veronica Charles was on her, got turned around, flashing up getting a little bit aggressive in the passing lane, and then Barnes came over in a help position late. Veronica Charles, and there's another backdoor cut.
What a close miss by Bazell. We've seen both teams miss it inside the restricted area, but we talked about that in the pregame before we came on the air. The restricted area, not in effect in women's basketball, as that shot off by Charles. King with the extra possession.
Right, the restricted arc, the reason it's still on the floor, obviously the men's game still uses it. But that was taken out of the women's game last summer or whenever they do their rules changes. And basically they have a restricted box, and it's basically the area right below the rim. So I think it's an 18 by 24-inch box.
And in the passing lane for Haley Rhodes, and Rhodes on the other end with the easy lay-in, and Rhodes with 8. She leads Morehead State as the lead trimmed down to 7.
Really nice job. Haley Rhodes is playing very, very well, and that's her 3rd steal of the afternoon already as well.
McGlone wide open as Charles went tumbling to the hardwood, or maybe Barnes. I was blocked out, and the defense never got set for Morehead State.
Well, they inverted it up, and nobody was there because the whole offense was outside.
Last off of a pan.
Meanwhile, Eastern Illinois, 5 of 6 from the floor, so there's where your spread is from.
Charles, 13 points, 3 rebounds. Rhodes now in double figures on the season, 10 points, 5 rebounds. And King averaging just shy of 10 rebounds a game, 9.9. Charles step back over top of McGlone. Nice job getting the separation.
Yeah, it was. And it was kind of a simple little play. They just rubbed on a rub screen. McGlone switched off, had Charles. Charles, instead of trying to take her to the rack, where that's going to be pretty tough sledding for, like you said, backed up, got some separation, hit a nice little mid-range jumper.
Lewis, who we mentioned, just checked back in to McGlone.
See, they've inverted the offense. The whole middle is cleared out so they can have that room to operate in there.
Bazell off again. They feed it to King running the court, and she's fouled. DeRoche will be the guilty party. King, free throw. Good on the first and makes the second. Lead trimmed to 5. McGlone, right wing with it. We're seeing McGlone with it. Over to Lewis. Tiny Lewis takes it inside. McGlone offensive rebound, has it poked away by Charles. Shot clock did reset to
hit the rim.
No question at all by questioning it by Matt Ballon as the inbound out in between the circles to McGlone. McGlone turns, fades over top of Hall. Rebound tipped and batted around, and it will stay with McGlone, the 6'3 junior, averaging 20 points, 12 rebounds on the year. We'll trigger it into Lewis. Quickly back down to McGlone, and she's going to be fouled by Barnes coming on the help defense.
You let her get the ball down that deep, it makes life awfully tough.
McGlone knocks down the second. That'll split the pair. 8 points for Rhodes, 9 for Charles. McGlone with 12.
13 now.
As Barnes, left hand off the glass and gets the roll.
Skylar Barnes showing her athleticism. She's very quick of foot, and she was able to turn the corner.
4 minutes left here in Johnson Arena, our first of two here on ESPN+. Bazell to Mydell. Top of the key. DeRoche, nothing but net straight away.
It's a pretty good looking shot by DeRoche. She just parked herself right up there above the top of the key and just waited for it to come back to her.
Now 4 of 29 from behind the arc as Charles tries to answer back.
You can see that she lost the grip of the basketball on the way up.
Lead at 7 again. It's been as many as 10. King gets a hand in the passing lane. Read that one like a book. 6 turnovers for the Panthers. Charles hits the brakes, and it's going to be punted out of play by Maya Monahan.
Kick save and a beauty.
It is hockey season, even though the hockey season lasts like 14 months.
Yeah, no.
It lasts forever.
Don't get me started on slap shot references, though. We'll be here all day.
The Mighty Ducks. Think we may see the Flying V today?
You probably don't remember Slapshot.
No, I don't. I've heard of it, obviously.
Yeah, you're young. I forget how young you are.
Haley Rhodes, elbow jumper. Off. King gets a hand on it, but McGlone uses that size of and frame to block her out.
I highly recommend you find it. You will enjoy it. Monahan was told DeRoche, just get out of the way. You're in the way. Here's an interesting matchup right here. They just cleared the side out and let her go to work.
Seccarelli comes over to double, but going under the bucket, getting away from that double team was McGlone. Heady play there.
Well, Blessing King did a really good job to the last step to the baseline. She did not take that last step, and that gave McGlone just enough room to get around her and then beat the double team.
Charles into the painted area, corner to Rhodes. 3, good. Haley Rhodes now with 11, and more confidence being shown out of the sophomore from Keller, Texas.
Haley Rhodes has been playing very, very well as of late. She's pretty much kept Morehead State in this one, this first half.
Barnes with the steal. It's a foot race versus Monahan, and Barnes lays it up and in. Lead back down to 4 in Eastern Illinois. Twice now they've gotten to that 9-10-point lead, and Morehead State's able to rattle off a run and trim it back down.
They have scrapped back a couple of times, and honestly, the defense is what's triggered most of this.
McGlone, not many options.
Watch for and that's silly.
Dean alluding to the foul going to be called.
Maybe we can see it again. I thought it was Secchiaroli.
The official went over and chatted with the official scorer, Randy Stacy. We'll double check that. That would be my father as Colson in the corner to Mydell. DeRoche, jumper over top of Haley Rhodes, and that's 2 pretty shots.
Sure is, and she did a good job. Rhodes was right there, but DeRoche moves pretty well too, so Rhodes had to respect that she might go on the bounce, and that's a tough turnover.
Right into the lap of Bazell. Bazell throws it up in between Jaden Rhodes and Solderley, so they're taking these free throws as an opportunity to belt out the happy birthday song.
Well, that's nice.
Never know what you're going to get here in Johnson Arena.
I didn't have happy birthday on the bingo card either.
GCU Super Bowl picks.
Yeah, antelopes.
Hockey references, hockey movies. Rhodes, crossover dribble. Nice. Penetrates on DeRoche, and DeRoche definitely got her on the arm.
Matt Ballant back there. I can see where Matt Ballant might have been questioning that some because there wasn't much contact.
Just over a minute left. Second quarter, Johnson Arena 5 the lead. It's a crucial last 60 seconds in a game that's been tilted towards the Panthers' way most of the first half.
Pretty much of the whole first half. There's a really nice defensive play on that pick and roll.
Mydell, ball's on the deck. Barnes uses that speed to get to it and is way with 49 and a half left. As you can see, Barnes got it to Charles. And yeah, Loon was there. I take back my comment. Wouldn't have been an open lay-in, but Charles with some speed advantage there for sure.
Nice kick.
Extra pass. Good job, though, by the Eastern Illinois defense on the closeout as Charles gets the extra possession and is found.
In and out.
McBride cuts the lead to 3. 4-second difference, shot clock and game clock. Full court pressure.
Trying to make him eat a little clock. What's a heck of a pick. Colson hit a crushing screen.
That was Barnes who took the lick in the corner to Loon. Back to Monahan.
They can virtually take the last shot. What, about 3 seconds difference?
Monahan, deep three. That's off. Rebound tipped and controlled by Morehead State after it hit two Panthers. Rhodes with it at midcourt. Rhodes throws it up at the buzzer, off the glass and iron. Not there anymore.
The two longest serving members of this league, Morehead State was, of course, a charter member, and then Tennessee Tech came in, I think, 2 years later. And then after that, I believe it's Tennessee State.
Great play by King as they try to feed it into McGlone early. Novick going to be fouled. It should be Bazell, and it will be the 5'8" sophomore.
That's interesting because Katie Novick, she just came into this advantage on Bazell, and I think she was going to take her all the way to the rack.
Man-to-man each way to start the second half. Morehead State was in a man-to-man pretty much the whole first half and then went to a little bit of a press as the half winded down. Dean Harden alongside him, Jared Stacy, her first of two here in Johnson Arena today, is a tough jumper for Charles. Pretty.
That was because Terrace Thornton had a pretty good hand in her face. She was right there, and Charles was able to get it just over the outstretched arms.
Speaking of this series history, the win by Morehead State on the 11th of January snapped a 5-game winning streak for Eastern Illinois over Morehead State.
Pretty.
McGlone, give her 17. An efficient 17 at that, Dean. Now,
7 of 8, and 1 of 2 from the line. That'll work. Eastern Illinois will be man-to-man most of the day. Some of the games I've watched, haven't seen them do much else.
Haley Rhodes off the glass too hard. She had 13, as we talked about in the first half, along with Veronica Charles with 13. Out of bounds. Only 5 turnovers in the first 2 quarters.
Yeah, points off turnovers, 8-4 advantage for Morehead State. And that's really kept Morehead State in the basketball game.
Bobby Ray, El Brooks Shoulders, and Jamie Cavalier. Our 3 officials here this afternoon. Novick has 3 fouls. 3 fouls for DeRoche. Only players with more than 2. Under 10. Charles rolls it, and I mean literally rolls it to Novick, and Novick pays it off to tie it up, 44 apiece.
Bowling for dollars. And Brooke Shoulders went to the table and said they were going to review that at the next dead ball to see if it was still a 3 or if Kate Novick had a toe on the line.
McGlone with it up high. Penetrates on King. Spin move back in the paint and is fouled by King. And that will be
over to do a little bit of help, just a dig. But the foul was on King.
Both free throws good. Lead at 2. As Novick right in front of the Morehead State bench. The largest lead was at 10 in the second quarter. Morehead State and Eastern Illinois, they've been tied just one time. Barnes goes baseline, spin move.
Nice move.
Off the glass, no. 50-50 ball. Hustle play by Haley Rhodes. Extra possession.
Give Blessing King the credit, though. She kept the ball alive. Inside
Barnes.
out, like it.
Wide open, just barely draws iron. Another offensive rebound. It's Charles this time.
Nice vision.
Haley Rhodes says, you're going to give me some space. I'll fire the jumper, and King will clean it up.
On the 4th shot of the trip for Morehead State, and they finally get it to go down, but that's really good board work against a pretty good rebounding team.
Seki Aroli sits at the scorer's table to check in next whistle. Lewis, all the way under the bucket, finds Monahan. Wide open. Monahan answers back.
Something Morehead State does very well, that inside-outside action. And Monahan was just spotted up there and put off a really nice, good-looking shot.
Eastern Illinois now 3 of 5 from downtown.
That'll get it done.
As a team shooting 65%. That's tough to compete against. Morehead State, though, staying stride for stride as Novick with the 2-point bucket.
That's a pretty good job by Kate Novick. There was some traffic in there, and she took a little bit of a bump. I don't think there was enough to get a whistle, but she took a bump, but was able to maintain her body control.
What a game this has been.
It's been fun.
McGlone on King. Cut off by King.
That was good defense. That's one thing McGlone, she doesn't normally force the issue. She doesn't have it. She's not sometimes Ball goes in there, it's going like into the black hole, never come back out. But she's not afraid to kick it back out. She knows that they'll find her again.
Lewis picks up
just for the athletics.
Morehead State bench being told to sit down by Brooke Shoulders.
You're too young to remember the old international way when the ball would go out of bounds or there was a travel. They could throw it literally to somebody out of bounds and kick it right back. The referee didn't have to touch it. It was wild.
Charles just hacked as she throws it up and it almost fell. My word, that hit the rim, the back. We're tied second time in this one, 49-49.
Hits that here. I wonder if Morehead State might try to do a little pressing. Well, we'll never know.
Monahan, after an easy rebound for McGlone, she's 2 rebounds away from her 20th double-double of the season and her 13th straight. DeRoche, three's good. They're now 4 of 6 from behind the arc. Make that 4 of 7, excuse me.
DeRoche is 3 of 4 from the floor and 2 of 2 from behind the arc. Puts up a nice-looking jump shot. Very smooth.
Every time Morehead State finds a bucket or some points, Eastern Illinois answers back, and Morehead State the one to answer back this time. It's Soderlund who finds the 3. That is her first of the contest.
Matilda Soderlund hitting about 38% from behind the arc. That leads Morehead State, and she's had some big buckets in the last couple of ball games. Morehead State, 2-3 zone. First time we've seen that all afternoon.
DeRoche finally misses from behind the arc, but McGlone, nice box out of Secchiaroli and an easy 2.
And Secchiaroli was battling.
Things being double-checked over at the scorer's table as Novick lobs it into Secchiaroli and
nice
right-handed scoop shot. Well, Dean, I'm sorry, at the end of the day, it fell through the cylinder.
She kind of slung it up there, and the thing I said not a good shot, she had all kinds of time on the shot clock to get a better one, but looks like a line drive in a box score.
It's one of those no. Yes, what a shot.
So a little bit of foul trouble maybe seeping into Morehead State. Oh, Thornton made a nice cut, got it wide open.
Thornton had it swatted away. Nuggets, JaVale McGee one time went up on a lay-in, and he blocked it, but then kind of pulled it down with one arm, and, the commentators called it a Belil because it was a block. That turned into a steal. 54 all. Third tie. Make that 5th tie, rather.
Eastern Illinois been man-to-man all day. Don't expect much else.
Takes the screen off to Novick. Novick inside over top of McGlone. Count it.
Much better. She's stronger, number one. And I think she's a lot more confident. But she put that ball up in good order.
Rebound Loon. To the lead for Morehead State. King gets a hand in the passing lane, but tips it out of bounds.
You can see they were trying to ISO McGlone down there against Blessing King on the left block. And they cleared out on the whole other side. Novick was kind of lurking there, maybe ready to come across the lane. But here we are again. They inverted, and
3 team fouls now against Morehead State.
We may shoot a lot of free throws in this game. I've got a feeling.
Eastern Illinois 12 of 16, Morehead State 12 of 14. Morehead State was perfect in the first half, 11 of 11. 3.5 as Monahan. Shot trickles off. Secchiaroli bear hugs that basketball and waits for Charles to come get it. Heave up the court to Soderlund. What a pass. That was like a football pass.
It was, but that was what our keys to the game. One of our keys for Eastern Illinois was transition defense because Morehead wants to push, and they did a really nice job of getting back and covering.
Ooh, that's pretty. Separation from Charles on the fadeaway jumper.
16 now for the native of Benue State, Nigeria.
Not known for her size by any means, but she sure can step back. Yeah, she can step back and create a ton of separation, negating that size differential.
That's what she has to do.
Loon over top of Novick, too hard off the glass. Loon amongst most likely sit the remainder of this third quarter.
You would think. You would think so, unless. And if not, it's probably something pretty dire for the Eagles, I would think.
McGlone, right-handed lay-in, too hard, but she'll go to the line. Take your pick.
Okay. You do you.
Novick Looking at it, full court pressure from Eastern Illinois.
Won't go into the discussion of significant digits if you don't want to.
That one out of bounds, and it'll stay with Morehead State off of a Panther.
.22 seconds on the timer. That also means they only have 2 seconds to get it across the 10-second strike. I believe that's the way that's done in women's basketball.
Barnes pushes it across.
Oh, that's close.
Loses it out of play, and that's going to be a turnover number 6 for Morehead State. As Barnes just a touch out of control there.
Pretty clean this quarter for turnovers, just 2-1 now. First turnover of the half for Morehead State.
Morehead State will answer back with a little bit of full court pressure of their own as Monahan riding the hip of Barnes up the court. Monahan, a little bit of hesitation. Over left to Mydell. Mydell scoreless in this one. Loon scoreless as well, who just went, or still in the contest, as McGlone finds Loon. It hits off of her chest, but nice job to maintain possession and stay in control of the basketball.
That was a really good job by McGlone, because as soon as she got it, Kate Novick came flying across the lane to double. McGlone saw it before she got there, and there was a nice cut and a nice pass.
Novick picks up her dribble and has to give it to the relief foul, and Barnes on the other side. 90 seconds, third quarter. Jaden Rhodes, twin sister of Haley Rhodes, to Novick. Novick cut off baseline and loses it out of play. And Morehead State and Eastern Illinois men will do battle after this one. And the Morehead State men, they've been worth the price of admission here in Johnson Arena of late.
They have been fun to watch. Had a really fun game Thursday night with SIUE. It had a really fun ball game. Morehead State's playing with a really short rotation on the men's side, too. Got some injuries.
Great defense from Solderland as Mydell can't finish. Charles thought about getting it to Secchiaroli.
I am shocked there wasn't a foul on Matilda Solderland on that shot, though.
Charles pokes the rebound away, and a timeout.
I'll tell you somebody that I think might come up pretty big in this, down this stretch, is Jaden Rhodes. Blessing Kings on the bench with 4 fouls. And so Jaden Rhodes is going to probably have to become part of that rotation to take some of the defensive pressure and onto Macy McGlone.
Nice active hands there by Mydell as Novick was doubled in the paint.
Yeah, she drove herself into a lot of trouble there.
Loon.
Now you see Rhodes, she's trying to guard McGlone, and she's giving up a couple of inches.
McGlone over top of Jaden Rhodes, and that's pretty. 2-point jumper. 1-point lead for Eastern Illinois. Shot clock turned off.
Wasn't bad defense on the other end. Rhodes has to respect the ability of McGlone to put it on the floor, but she was still there, and McGlone just raised up, put it over top of her.
Jaden Rhodes feeds
nice
to
cut.
Novick at the free throw line. Charles left wing 3 on the way. Good. Eastern Illinois won't get a shot off, and the Eagles
2 of 4 from behind the arc. Battle the boards in the third quarter. It's always a big stat. Morehead State with an 8-5 edge.
65% from the field in the first half by Eastern Illinois, so they cooled off a little, but still.
About had to.
50% impressive regardless. Charles Solderland, near corner 3 on the way. Good. Bam. Largest lead of the game at 5 for Morehead State.
Big shot from the native of Stockholm for Morehead State.
Lewis out top to McGlone. McGlone with 24 and 9. Next rebound will give her 20th double-double.
They had Thornton flashed right in the middle, and she had Haley Rhodes right behind her. She was right at the restricted arc, and they just missed her.
Bazell off to Thornton. 4 on the shot clock. McGlone's going to penetrate on Jaden Rhodes, and she does not get the pass off in time to give DeRoche time to shoot it.
12th turnover now for Eastern Illinois, and that was really good team defense from Morehead State. When McGlone got it with, about 6 seconds on the clock, she went baseline, then they doubled, and then Eastern Illinois was in a world of hurt.
A phrase you hear so often in sports is Solderland, left wing 3 off the iron, no. A phrase you hear so often, next man up, and Jaden Rhodes right now, she's having to be that next man up, next woman up, if you will.
She's the next man up because Blessing King is on the bench with 4 fouls, so she's got to come up and step up.
What an answer back. by Bazell, the lefty.
Bazell is the best three-point shooter that Eastern Illinois has. She shoots it at a 40% clip from behind the arc, which is excellent. As a matter of fact, that 40% leads the Ohio Valley Conference.
Over 60 makes on the season from behind the arc. Novick. Long jumper for Rhodes, no.
Yeah.
And lineup.
Macy McGlone's getting a blow. I was trying to look and see if she'd had any break at all. Not much of one.
About 3 minutes and change of a break. So far, 28 minutes played. Bazell goes baseline, shot too hard. What a rebound. Somehow Thornton gets it to Monahan. Nice job. Colson on the box out, extra possession. This time it's Lewis who's off. And there is Rhodes again, Jaden getting the rebound.
Third time, not a charm for Eastern Illinois on that trip.
Charles, just way too much momentum, shot too hard. Back and forth we go. Quarter of the way in, fourth quarter. Bazell.
Nope.
That one's off. Hustle rebound by Thornton.
Morehead State, that was a little bit in transition, and they did not get organized in the transition defense, and nobody accounted for Thornton, and she was able to come all the way across the lane to get that rebound.
6 on the shot clock. Multiple extra possessions. Backdoor feed. Monahan can't finish in close, and Jaden Rhodes picks up the foul.
Well, would be an automatic trigger to hit backdoor cut.
Monahan in double figures, and now she ties it up at 64 apiece. We've been tied 6 times now. Morehead State on another scoring drought, 2.5, without getting one through the cylinder. Charles loses it as she goes up with the shot.
Looked like her sneaker caught or something. Turf Monster got her.
Under 7 minutes, quick feed down low to Thornton, who too late, 13 turnovers now. Both teams, Dean, have missed their last 4 field goals.
Yeah, almost a 3-minute scoring drought for Morehead State. Eastern Illinois, it's got to be close to 2 minutes. It's been a bit.
Bazell hit that 3, and then they missed 4 opportunities after multiple offensive rebounds.
One
Barnes.
thing this quarter, Eastern Illinois has a 7-1 advantage on the glass. Of course, 3 of them were on that one trip where they got rebounds.
Charles takes the screen from Hall, up with the 3. McGlone just using that size and position fully to her advantage.
And her 21st double-double of the season, 24th of her career. 13th straight game. Oops.
Mydell has to chase that one down in front of press row to her right. Under 10 on the shot clock again for the Panthers as McGlone will come and set the screen. Step back 3 for Lewis. Long rebound out to Barnes. Long pass forward to Secchiaroli. Comes to a stop, and McGlone, nice job hustling down the court.
It sure was. I mean, Mason McGlone got back. She runs the floor very well, and good job by Melissa Secchiaroli because I don't think she wanted to go up there against the taller and much more defensively active McGlone.
That's going to be an offensive foul called on Haley Rhodes as she runs over Breather with just over 5.5 left fourth quarter.
I tell you, I don't think Thornton had position established. And fully aware I'm a bit of a homer, but it didn't look to me like she had it.
Lewis
close.
Met at the timeline, guarded up the court and then gets it across the timeline, guarded by Barnes. Midway through the possession already, and Lewis, little scoop lay-in, no. Hall with the rebound. Great box out by Hall. Exactly what her job is this afternoon.
Did a really good job of boxing out, and McGlone was still able to get a fingertip on it, but she got a box out enough to get the rebound.
Novick calls for the screen. She'll go opposite of it. Scoop shot, somehow gets it over top of the fingertips of McGlone.
And I made reference to it earlier. I don't think earlier in this season, especially November and early December, I don't think that goes down, but she's much better at that now.
McGlone's double, finds Monahan. To the edge as Novick goes to the hardwood, and Monahan ties it up at 2 apiece. Or at 66 apiece with the 2, excuse me.
It was weird. Novick went down, looked like there was some contact, but no whistle. And I'm not saying it should have been. I just didn't. You don't see that a lot.
Foul on the shot as Novick will go to the line and shoot 2.
Battle.
Well, the men's game on Thursday was on ESPNU, and the broadcasting crew that was in made multiple comments about maybe the softest rims they've seen all year, and those broadcasters travel throughout the U.S., so they've seen quite a bit of arenas.
I mean, I watch a lot of basketball, and, the rims here have traditionally been very soft for years. Oddly enough, Rupp Arena, when I remember, you were way too young, I remember when it first opened, they talked about how terrible those rims were tight. And a matter of fact, when Rick Pitino got the job, and it sounds like they're broken. They just clang up there, and the ball just dies.
McGlone picks up her second foul. I didn't see who it was, but one of the Eagles got a great deflection on the feed into McGlone that led to the turnover and foul. That's a kickball. Mydell showing off her soccer skills. Eastern Illinois back to a man-to-man after showing zone a couple times.
Yeah, they went zone there for a pretty good stretch of the third quarter.
Hall asking for Novick to come and get it.
Yeah, Hall doesn't want any part of doing anything that far away from the bucket. Nice block by McGlone.
Charles somehow comes away with the rebound as Novick from way downtown almost banks it in. She had to heave it up as the shot clock did not reset. And it shouldn't have, for that matter.
Oh, no.
Want to make sure I'm clear. Eagles leading by the narrowest of margins, under 3.5.
Michaela Hall is going to have to work very hard on McGlone as she had it posted up there.
Monahan keeps it in play. Morehead State defeated Eastern Illinois earlier this year by just a couple, as Charles is going to be fouled and Secchiaroli games, excuse me. We talk about obscure stats. Drew Thelwell is first in the nation with fewest fouls per minutes played on the men's side of things.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't know that was a thing.
That's as obscure as it gets then, right?
To me it is.
Under 3 minutes, fourth quarter won the lead. Novick penetrates again in the painted area, and both officials in front of.
Better defender, but giving away some size.
Full court pressure from Morehead State, still with that 1-point edge. Both teams, one of their last 8 attempts from the field. On what was a hot shooting third quarter, the breaks have been applied.
And then some. Nice play by Charles.
Picks the pocket, actually rather reads the pass, if you will, and gets the lay-in on the other end.
That was a really nice play. And Morehead State, Veronica Charles by name, turning some defense into some offense.
This Morehead State crowd coming to their feet. They work it down to McGlone. Nice feed and a nice finish by Thornton.
That was just a really easy, basic give and go. Thornton on the wing just sends it to McGlone, then dives to the basket, and Haley Rose just got beat.
Approaching 2 minutes left, fourth quarter. Lead at 1. That is a 2+ minute scoring drought for Eastern Illinois as Barnes looking at that man-to-man defense. We'll give it off to King. King almost loses it. Charles.
Gonna have to get it up.
2 as Barnes. Shot misses everything, and no shot clock violation as the possession was in the hands of Eastern Illinois, as that is going to be off the foot. State it goes.
Morehead State got a break there because Macy McGlone running the floor really, really well, and Blessing King was there with her, and I guess just bothered her just enough. But that's a huge break after a really empty possession. The last trip down on this end for Morehead State.
Novick back in for Morehead State. Barnes back to the bench. Under 90 seconds here in Johnson Arena. Morehead State 7-4 in the conference. Eastern Illinois 6-5. This is a crucial one with under 10 games left in conference play. The feed down low to Rhodes. Too hard on the shot. King, though, able to get the rebound and the finish as Blessing King now with 7 rebounds, give her 8 points.
A couple big rebounds for Blessing King right there. What a shot.
Thornton with the finish through the.
A wild shot, but she had good control of it.
Thornton now with 10 points and 6 rebounds in this one. Under a minute left here in Johnson Arena. Full court pressure being applied by Eastern Illinois. 2 timeouts for the Eagles, 3 for the Panthers.
Now numbers if she sees it.
And Novick walks with it.
Instead of circling back out and eventually traveling, she had Veronica Charles spotted up for a 3. And I get, though, she had to do a lot of work just to break the press. I understand it. but that's a big turnover.
Eastern Illinois will shoot 2 free throws on common fouls from Morehead State. Still one more foul to give for the Panthers. Midell to Monahan, and a timeout taken by Eastern Illinois. 32
so far, 21 and 9. She's close to a double-double herself.
Eastern Illinois inbounds to McGlone. And McGlone walks. Oh, he is. Yes, correct.
I'd like to see a replay of it if we could rack it real quick. Because I was looking off the ball at Thornton making a cut, and Haley Rhodes did a really good job of covering that passing lane up.
4-second difference, shot clock to game clock.
Wouldn't surprise me if they just clear out in ISO and let Veronica Charles go to work.
King will set a screen way out high. Still Charles, 71-71. Charles with 21 in this one so far. And that pass is tipped. It's in the backcourt. Eastern Illinois with it. Monahan for 3. It's short. In the corner, Monahan gets it and calls a timeout with 3.3 timeout remaining for Eastern Illinois if they have any trouble getting it in. Monahan, they float it over top to McGlone. She comes down with it. In the paint, shot, up, short. We're going to overtime. Free basketball here in Johnson. They're working overtime as well today. We'll still get paid the same, though.
Yep, no overtime rate.
Man-to-man for Morehead State. Left elbow Thornton over to McGlone. Penetrating on King. Shot over top of King. No good. McGlone rebound and a putback, though, is.
She just got so deep in there that even though she missed a shot, and King had position, but she was so deep that King really not much she could do about it.
Both teams were given a timeout heading into overtime, so 3 now for the Eagles, 2 for the Panthers.
Rhodes asking for a pick from Haley Rhodes.
8 on the shot clock. Charles finds Solderland. She'll heave it up left side. That misses everything. Clock violation. 13th turnover. 17 for the Panthers themselves.
Morehead State just didn't get a whole lot done early in the possession. They messed around up top a long way. Novick finally got a pick and started to do some things through the cycle, but 10 seconds already passed.
Already 1 minute in, 4th quarter. Make it overtime, excuse me. Pass down low. Great job by Novick chasing it down.
It was a great job by Soderlund because she went over there and sealed off and didn't allow McGlone to move laterally to go get the overpass.
Charles penetrates on McGlone, goes all the way under the bucket and throws it right into the breadbasket of Monahan.
Monahan read that real well. Everybody could see that Charles was going to go through and try to go across court, and Monahan read it really nicely. The help's got to be here. They've got 2 smalls on help on the near side as McGlone was posted on the block.
Approaching 2 minutes in here in overtime. The feed to McGlone.
Winded. She's had to expend a ton of energy on the defensive end, just trying to keep tabs of Macy McGlone.
Secchiaroli comes in as well. She's perfect from the field. 2 of 2 with a free throw made. 5 points. Lead at 2. Our only bucket in this overtime by Eastern Illinois. Novick, little head fake. And she's fouled in the painted area right on the OVC logo.
Gutter. Thing is, Bazell has drawn the assignment.
When you're the leader in disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Let it rain, Randy! Woo! Yes! By being prepared!
Under 3 minutes. Rhodes, nice use of the glass, ties it up at 73. Our 9th tie of this ball game.
Hadn't heard much from Rose in a while, but that was a really nice play. And she's been very effective from starting up top and driving down, especially that left-hand side of the lane. We've seen that a lot, but that time went down the right side.
Charles, solid defense on Monahan.
Sure was, and I was glad to see that she didn't get bailed out with a foul because Veronica Charles did everything real nicely that time.
Don't blink now, Dean, but Charles is a rebound and 3 assists away from a triple-double.
I think that is her 10th rebound, so that's a
yep, she does have the double-double.
So now she needs these couple assists. She's got 8.
Novick, dump off.
Hall. Pick and roll, nice.
Beautiful.
Just a nice little basic basketball play. And Michaela Hall has really come on in the last, let's say, 2 weeks. and played much, much better basketball than we've seen.
McGlone will go to the line and shoot 2 as she was fouled by 3-minute scoring drought for Eastern Illinois. We're tied up again. You got your money's worth if you bought a ticket to this one or pay for an ESPN Plus subscription. Happy to have you along as Rhodes is going to have it blocked by McGlone on the left low block. And 75 all, approaching 90 seconds left. Monahan with it.
Just tough play. Not bad by Rhodes. She made McGlone make
Be the 20th turnover now for Eastern Illinois. And back to Morehead State it goes with just under a minute and a half.
Big turnover.
Absolutely a big one. Every play is crucial.
Yeah, every trip now, you're trying to maximize either score or get a stop. And they're all magnified.
Novick penetrates, left low block, tough shot up, no, and it went over the backboard, but she's fouled, and she'll go shoot 2.
I don't know. Barnes will come in for Novick for defensive purposes. Now we're getting situational substitutions. Barnes a little bit quicker. Here's a pretty big trip both ways now.
Bazell this time bringing it up the court, being guarded closely by Secchiaroli. Under a minute left here in Johnson Arena in overtime. McGlone gives it.
Charles did a good job poking it free from her. Now we'll see if she sets a screen and see if she dives to the bucket.
Monahan, turnaround floater, no. Rebound off the back of the iron.
And you saw the replay right there. Hall did a really good job of boxing off and making McGlone foul her.
Lead stays at 2. Rebound Thornton. Monahan will come and get it. 13-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Waning moments here in Johnson Arena.
Again.
Good point. We are in overtime. McGlone going to be fouled by and have started to file in even more.
Well, they missed something. They should have come earlier because they've missed a fun game.
I completely agree. Dean Harden alongside Jared Stacy with you as Secchiaroli gets it into Charles. Charles is going to call a timeout.
It was a good call because she was in a...
Tickets now at $60 before the price increase on February 19th. McBride will inbound this time for Morehead State. Quick inbound to Rhodes. Rhodes back to Novick.
There we go.
And Novick's going to be fouled by Thornton. So contest in front of us.
Yeah, we're only half done there, big man.
Monahan will inbound. 1 timeout remaining each way.
Plenty of time for Eastern Illinois to do some things.
Bazell to Monahan.
You see if McGlone goes up the screen and let's see if she dives down, but Monahan instead forced it up and oh wow, got bailed out.
Monahan.
I am shocked that they don't have a defender up in Paris McBride's face trying to do something with this pass.
McBride into Charles. Tied up 78-78. Being guarded by Bazell. Charles takes it inside the arc. Extra pass. Secchiaroli for the win. It spins out.
Well, that was a really good-looking shot, and that might have been the second shot. Oh, your dog can wait. That's a good dog.
Timmy.
That's the first of the 3 tip-offs that were controlled by Morehead State. Mason McGlone actually controlled that one, but just hit it right at Skylar Barnes.
Charles with 21, 15 for Haley Rhodes, 14 for Novick. As that one off, rebound to Mydell and the Panthers. Monahan, little hesitation.
Oh, I thought Veronica Charles was going to try to come up from behind her and back tip it.
Mydell stops, pops. Shot no good. Charles with the rebound, and what an athletic play to flip it up to Hall.
Yeah, and Morehead State really lucky there because Michaela Hall went with the shot, and instead of staying with McGlone and boxing off, and very fortunate to be able to get that rebound because McGlone usually eats that up.
Down low, Rhodes fouled by Mydell.
Haley Rhodes just played very well today. She's now 4 of 4 on the line. Notice a hesitation there. Give her 17 points, which is, I believe, a career high.
Bazell will walk it up. Pass is going to be tipped out of bounds and last off of Monahan. And Coach Ballant for Eastern Illinois.
It definitely changed.
Good way to look at it. Under 4. Minutes left in Johnson Arena. Morehead State leads by 2. We've had 11 ties, 5 lead changes. Stop. Fadeaway jumper on the step back by Charles. No good. And it's last off of McGlone. I don't know, contact, confusion for McGlone, whatever you want to call it.
I think she was trying to jump and stay out of the way and not pick up a foul, and I don't know.
10 on the shot clock, though.
Weird.
Charles finds Novick. Corner 3 in front of the Eagle bench. No. Hall with the rebound and a putback and an air ball that works out in Morehead State's favor.
And sometimes rather be lucky than good, and that was Michaela Hall. Right place, right time. Big bucket for her.
McGlone, pass off. Tough shot by Thornton through the contact. Won't fall, but Secchiaroli commits the foul. That's her first.
Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals.
Deep 3 for the Panthers. Bingo.
There was nobody within 15 feet of her. Monahan's a pretty good shooter.
She was more open there than she was in warm-ups.
Yeah, pretty much.
To the lead. Charles will penetrate. Back to Rhodes. Rhodes with the left hand, but she traveled.
Looked at it. First live look, it looked like a pretty good step through.
Bazell once again bringing it up the court, being guarded tightly by Secchiaroli. Under 2 minutes.
Whoops.
Almost a turnover for
Sure
the
was.
Panthers.
She lost handle of it. Good thing for her. Monahan is right there.
Monahan has Barnes riding her hip. Now Mydell down low to McGlone over top of Hall. Shot is off. Rebound Mydell. Put back 84 all. Full court pressure being applied by Eastern Illinois as Rhodes will get it across the midcourt stripe. Barnes, right-handed scoop shot, too hard. Rebound will come down to Mydell.
It looked like Morehead State had this one a little bit under control not too long ago. They had a 5-point lead. Now look at them. They need to stop desperately.
The Panthers have gone on a run to knot us up. 12th tie in this ball game. 3, Monahan, count it! Panthers in front by 3.
And they just set up Macy McGlone real high and just with a stationary pick. And Skylar Barnes had to run around it, and by the time she got there, it was a little late.
Solderland gets the friendly roll. My goodness, what a game we have here in Johnson Arena. We're going to have a review over at press row as Kayla Petrie, you just saw, gave a big old hug to the junior from Stockholm, Sweden, Matilda Solderland.
I'm not sure what they're looking at unless it's a timing issue or Soderland's foot was on the line. Or maybe they're looking at both. I don't know.
Kill 2 birds with 1 stone, maybe. We will get a look here at the feet. She's definitely behind the 3-point line. And now let's see if we can see any extra seconds go off the clock. Yes. They are going to just look like maybe 53.6. That's going to be my guess. 53.5, 53.6.
Yeah, because you could see it was out of focus, but you could see the clock still turning. And again, 53.9. So the
free throws and fouls.
It's been a fun one.
Yes. The definition of fun. Football pass. Monahan comes down with it. Monahan blocked from behind by Novick. The true freshman, and you couldn't tell by it today.
You see Monahan got a step on everybody, and she's a little quicker than Novick, but not with a basketball.
McGlone runs over top of one of the Eagles. It is Barnes, and it's
Skylar Barnes got set up. Macy McGlone start
with McGlone the one.
Now they're going to trap out of this. We'll see them trap on this, so we'll see what Morehead State has to do.
Novick will get the inbounds pass. Morehead State.
Here comes the trap.
They have a timeout remaining. Novick loses it. Ball's on the deck. Who's going to come up with it? Solderland had a hand on it. Monahan wraps it up and calls a timeout. So it'll be Panther basketball with 37.9 left here in double overtime.
Oh, it's a big.
And will inbound beside the Eastern Illinois bench. Just under 8-second difference, shot clock and game clock. Monahan into DeRoche. Eagle fans starting to come to their feet as Monahan takes it inside the arc, but backs it out. DeRoche now, Monahan again.
So you should get a king from McGlone, or a pick from McGlone. And
corner three, Mydell misses everything, maybe just drew barely iron as Barnes finds Solderland. Passes up the three. Solderland will bring it in between the circles, and a timeout taken by Solderland and Novick. Looking to get the inbound. Novick does. Under 10. Bazell guarding Novick. Novick picks up her dribble. Over to Rhodes. Rhodes penetrates in the paint. Left-handed scoop shot swatted away by McGlone. 2.3 left. What a play there by what will most likely be the OVC Player of the Year in Macy McGlone.
I've got you, don't I?
You do.
I've been saying that line for a while.
Inbound pass. Barnes for the win. Off front rim, no, and we'll go to a third overtime. 87-87 here in Johnson Arena.
A while. You need to get back over here.
Eastern Illinois will control the
There's no telling where in the world he is. He's the busiest man I know.
Well, that's the best part about ESPN Plus. You can tune in worldwide.
As long as you got an internet connection, you're good. Well, McGlone is really battling with Michaela Hall down there for position.
What a three by Bazell from way outside. She's got 12, 3 from behind the arc.
Bazell's a good little player. She's feisty. Good shooter, too.
The answer not there. Rebound will be off the hands of Hall. Into Eastern Illinois it'll go.
Not a bad shot. Haley Rhodes had it. She had it teed up. She's played very, very well today. Don't mind seeing that one at all.
Charles fouled out with 23 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, just 2 turnovers.
That's the thing. Morehead State playing without arguably their best player and fouled out.
Monahan on the penetration has to alter her shot and puts the Panthers in front by 5.
Give Monahan 23 on the night, on the afternoon, and she's really picked it up here in the overtime periods.
Solderland with the big 3 in the second overtime to tie it up. Now Rhodes short on the jumper. McGlone had the rebound, but it's going to be, at the end of the day, curled up by Mydell.
Not a bad shot. Free throw line jumper. That's a pretty good shot. Just wouldn't go down for Haley. Now Morehead State desperately needs a stop.
They feed it into McGlone. Comes down with it. No good on the shot, but Hall commits the foul, and that will
have the green light. She's one of the designated shooters, and Morehead State needs points in a hurry now. There's still time left, 3.5 minutes to go, but the hour is getting late.
7 the lead, by far the largest lead we've seen either way in the overtime periods.
Asking for a pick from Hall.
Rhodes at the elbow with the up and under move, and it'll count.
Went right up against Macy McGlone, who has 6 blocks on the afternoon, which is a season high. Maybe a career high, I can't tell. But it went right up on her. Shows some fortitude, too. She had missed her last 3 shots.
Pass down low to Pazell's off her fingertips and out of bounds.
Couldn't bring it down.
A tick under 3 minutes. A bucket would do wonders for Morehead State here.
Boy, howdy.
Offense working through Haley Rhodes. Rhodes crossover dribble. This time she'll go up with the right hand. It won't fall. But she will go to the line and shoot a couple as DeRoche picks up the foul and lead down to 3. Quick 4-0 run for Morehead State, much needed.
Monahan so steady with the basketball.
Monahan gets it back from McGlone, 2.5. Overtime number 3 is that 3 straight away, good from Mydell. 9 of 19 for Eastern Illinois from the field, above 45%.
From three-point range.
Exactly.
Amazing. Oops. Yeah, it's going the other way.
Off of Rhodes to Eastern Illinois it goes. Lead at 6, and Morehead State will apply full court pressure now.
Haley Rhodes was lost there as Mydell was sneaking down the floor, and Michaela Hall was screaming at somebody to come pick her up because she has to go get McGlone.
Eastern Illinois win here would knot up Morehead State and Eastern Illinois at 7-5 in the conference as King able to rip that rebound home, and Morehead has numbers. Barnes off to Rhodes. Rhodes shot off the glass and good.
Points. Coming into today, her career high was 16.
Completes the three-point play.
She's played very well.
That ties her career high in free throws made. 3 the lead. DeRoche with it for the Panthers. She picks up her dribble in a tough spot, but Monahan will come and save her.
EIU doesn't need to force anything quite yet. There's still plenty of time on the clock. Get a good shot.
90 in the game, less than 10 on the shot. And Secchiaroli runs into Bazell. And
Secchiaroli just a bit, and then Kareem right off of Jaden Rhodes.
Lead at 5. Under a minute and a half is Novick.
Time is of the essence now. Morehead State's got to go.
Secchiaroli, corner 3, good, much needed. Cuts the lead to 2.
If you remember, Secchiaroli had a 3 ball at the end of regulation that did everything but hit the net. And she gets a little bit of retribution here as she can get some really nice looking and a big shot.
EIU can hit the century mark with a bucket here. Bazell looking to get it down to McGlone. Canton goes to Monahan, under 10. Pass back to DeRoche, 3, no good. Rebound Barnes. Barnes feeds it up the court. Secchiaroli for the tie, yes!
Arrow is favoring Morehead State.
They took a quick look at the clock as Barnes riding the hip of Monahan.
Monahan has been so good in these overtime periods.
Monahan goes right to Bazell, trying to find McGlone. Blessing King, doing her best down low. McGlone double. McGlone shot over top of King, no good. Rebound comes down to Barnes. Shot clock turned off. Barnes takes it all the way and runs over top of Ellie Bazell, and Bazell no doubt takes the contact, and she's still down on the hardwood.
Yeah, she took a wallop. And Skylar Barnes just a little bit out of control.
Morehead State could have held for the last shot, and they had a timeout remaining.
Bazell is still down, and now the trainer, you can see right here, Bazell set up and plant.
Better maybe.
Yeah, if you did, dinner's on you.
Mydell will trigger. Mydell feeds it to Monahan inside the arc. Back to Mydell.
So your shooters, Bazell, Mydell's a decent shooter, but Monahan's a really good shooter. Of course, Macy McGlone and
timeout Eastern Illinois. 10 seconds left, 99-99.
No timeouts. No timeouts for Eastern Illinois. They got to get it in bounds.
And they just barely 3 over top of Barnes. No good. Chase down in the corner with 0.3 seconds left. And let's see if they take a look at maybe adding some time to this one.
That would be tough. Because I looked. As soon as the whistle blew, I looked, and I saw 0.4. So
Coach Petrie will take the timeout.
And she'll get the ball advanced here to the hash mark. She's going to go on the far side this time. And we'll see, because we can't hear when the whistle's blown, but there it is, and 0.4 is about whenever it hit the table, the skirting of that table on the far end down there.
One could argue McGlone had a foot out of bounds and touched it with maybe 0.6, 0.7.
I'm not sure that she touched it out of bounds, though. And fun fact, it went out of bounds, and the rather tall lady was down there at that table is none other than Jillian McGrain, a Morehead State Hall of Famer.
The McGrain name as a very popular one here in Morehead State.
I played ball with older brother Joe, who ended up playing a nice major league career.
Let's look at that left foot. That left foot is hitting the sideline.
But she's not touching the basketball, is my point.
0.6 is what they put up.
Tomato, tomato. But hey, an extra couple tenths might come in handy.
Got to be quick regardless. And if you're Eastern Illinois, don't commit the foul. That would be worst case scenario.
Yeah, you just try to get Secchiaroli on a pop and let her fly. And we were blocked out and blocked out of bounds.
And no time came off the clock. They're going to put 0.3 now. And with 0.3, you can only tap it in. So you can't catch and shoot. Even if you make it before the buzzer, that's a rule. With 0.3 and below, just a tap. Let's see what they draw up. Novik inbounds back to her, and let's play a fourth over.
It's a great day for basketball. Let's play two.
37 and make it 31 and 17 for McGlone as Morehead State wins the tip. Shot up close is no good and saved in to Bizel. Great play.
Really great play by Emily Meidel to save that in for Eastern Illinois. Time this is over with, we're going to have lots of stars of the game.
8 players with 4 fouls. Make that 9 players with 4 fouls or a fouled out. DeRoche to McGlone, back to McGlone on the elbow. Turns, faces, knocks it down over top of Hall.
Michaela Hall was there. McGlone just went up over top of her. Gives her 33, and that's a new career high for her.
McBride back to Rhodes. 3-pointer straight away. No good. Rebound Barnes. Barnes over to Hall as Morehead State gets an extra possession and the shot clock.
The shot clock reset, and it shouldn't have. As Haley Rhodes at 3 was wide right and didn't touch any iron.
They may have to go back and take a quick look at the replay on this.
Yeah, they will.
Because unless the official is 100% confident he knows what the shot clock was on, they do need to double check and a quick double check.
You wouldn't look normally. You see the shot go up. It looked like 19 there. And the ball bounced around for a couple more seconds. So they leave it at 19.
Call it a wash.
Okay, it's a wash.
Barnes will inbound. You can tell Diener and I are on our 4th overtime of our first of 2 games today.
Oh, yeah.
McBride waves off Secchiaroli. McBride almost has it poked away, and a shooter on the team just barely higher than Charles. And that one off.
82% for Paris coming into today.
101-100. Words I never thought I'd say ever in Johnson Arena.
We're going to have to go back and look. And last time Morehead scored 100, and last time they gave up 100. It's been a bit. But I'm on it.
In the post, McGlone, shot, no, rebound, Secchiaroli. Outlet up to McBride, cross court to Rhodes. Rhodes takes it in and able to not finish as that one went halfway home but popped its head back out.
Well, Haley did everything right. Just put up just a little bit firm and it rimmed out. But it was a very tight lane she had to get to the bucket too. Bizel's been good today. She's got 14. Be a big bucket for EIU.
And with players fouling out, Bizel's picking up more of the workload offensively. As McGlone turns faces, he has been busy, that is for sure.
And she plays a lot of minutes anyway. She's up in I think the top 5 in minutes played in the OVC. She's 4th.
Most points in a game for Morehead State, 121 against Kentucky Christian and Alice Lloyd, that in 2015 and 2018.
I'm not sure we'll get quite there, not without a lot of help from a couple extra periods.
Novik, shot no good. King able to get the rebound.
Defensive substitution. A little bit better foot speed than Kate Novik.
Monahan guarded tightly by Barnes. Just a 1-point lead for the Panthers. McGlone back to Monahan, 10 on the shot clock. Right side, Bazell, the lefty, spins out a three. Offensive rebound to Loon. Elbow, jumper, will fall. Lead back to three.
Morehead State really messed up on the defensive glass that time. They did not box out, and they did not go to the glass. They were outnumbered underneath 3-1.
McBride gets it back from King. McBride lay in, won't fall. King had a hand on the rebound, but it's pushed off into Monahan's lap.
Well, that was a tough shot by McBride. Almost got it to go. Now Morehead State, still plenty of time. There's just under 2 minutes to go, but it seems like every possession's so huge now.
Monahan to Bazell, and a foul going to be. Rhodes will bounce it in.
Here we go. McGlone coming down to set the screen. And, yeah, that's a good call.
Novick gets it across half court. Secchiaroli quickly back to Novick. Approaching a minute and a half. Extra pass to Barnes. Barnes on the penetration. Elbow jumper up. No good. Rebound. Haley Rhodes up and in. Rebound and a putback for the sophomore out of Keller, Texas.
And really importantly, that ends about a 2.5 minute scoring drought from Morehead State. Still
hanging in there.
Got to get a stop.
Listen,
King came out.
Yeah, King will catch the breather with 1:09.
I was going to say Secchiaroli's a shooter. Keep her in there.
Novick lets it roll all the way into the front court before picking it up and getting the clock rolling. Barnes being guarded tightly by Loon. Barnes. Pass is going to be deflected out of bounds directly to our left.
Barnes got to put it on the bounce, and that's not the way that play was drawn up. And she kind of started freelancing, and it got stagnant because the other players didn't really know where they wanted to go.
Under a minute, Johnson Arena overtime number 4. We pass the century mark for both teams as Rhodes spin move in the pass.
You'll see that in a men's game, and more often than not, it's not called. And it's not because the officials are different. The officiating is different because the national office, the people that are the bosses of all the officials in the country, they want it called a certain way. The women's powers that be have decided they want that called very, very tightly. And that's just the way it is, and everybody involved in the game knows it.
Under 30, under 10 on the shot. Monahan, guarded by King. Monahan out top. DeRoche passes up the shot, gets it to Bazell. She'll just heave it up off the iron. No good, and the rebound will be to Morehead State.
No. Katie Novick was the last one to touch it. It rattled around, and EIU is extremely bailed out because they
to foul if they don't force a quick turnover.
And Bazell, you can see she's deep in that corner. So
Bazell looking. Bazell finds Monahan. Monahan is going to be fouled by King.
Yeah, I have to.
And that'll be.
We could be right a big history. We could go one more. Let's go.
Barnes windbound with 15 seconds left. Morehead State trailing by 2. Floated into Novick. Novick to Barnes. Corner 3. Blocked.
State doesn't need a 3. They can get a 2, and we'll go to an extra one.
No timeouts for Morehead State, 1 for Eastern Illinois. Barnes floats it into Novick. Novick in the paint is going to be fouled, and she'll tumble to the heart on the front row. Just has her hands covering her eyes. She can't even watch, Steve. Novick to tie it up with 8.4. No good. Rebound will come down to Loon, and a timeout make it a 2-point game. Free throw up, good. Morehead State trailing by 2.
Gotta go.
Inbounds to Haley Rhodes. Rhodes takes it from coast to coast. Floater up. No good. Wouldn't have mattered anyway as an offensive foul is called as cold as possible with just 2 seconds left and hope for at least one missed free throw to have a chance. Inbound. Ball's on the ground. Novick does not get the ball over to Secchiaroli in time as it was